All right.
Hello, Sabrina. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm really good, thank you. Thanks so much for jumping on the call. And why I wanted to get onto this, to have this conversation with you today, is because the great results you've had in such a short period. So before we get into that, why don't you share a little bit about yourself and your journey before you and I connected?
Where I'm at now?
So,
I struggled for years,
right. Yep.
a lot of years after having cancer twice and then a hysterectomy at 34 years old. And my whole body kind of went upside down and a lot of stress. And yeah, kind of led me into yo-yo dieting, and not eating is a form of weight loss. And then I gained it all back and it did me no favors in the long run.
Yeah.
So I decided to take a different approach to it and start eating every couple hours, healthier meals, whole foods. And yeah, it made a huge difference.
Yeah. So when we started, which is about 3 weeks ago, our initial call was, I always focus on nutrition first, right? And also you have an injury, right? You have an injury, so you can't even do any exercise at the moment.
Yeah.
And so just go back a step, because it didn't just happen that you jumped into, you struggled for a long time, and you made
a lot of years.
Yeah. And so you made a decision to go down a path, which is having an online coach.
Completely different.
Right.
Yeah, and completely different from what I'm used to.
And what made you make that choice?
I got sick of feeling like I was working hard for nothing, like putting in twice the amount of work and getting nowhere with it. And it was getting to be really difficult. Like when you work out and you eat really good, so you think you're eating really good, and then you get on the scale and you do your measurements and you're up a couple pounds and your pant sizes are fitting too big, and it's just like, oh no.
Yeah.
So no, this is actually working, because it's like my pants are fitting a little bit more comfortably, like they're not as snug, but I'm eating every couple hours, which is a completely different approach.
Yeah. So, and we're not even looking at calories. We're just getting your body fueled with really good food again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's,
and
my carbs and my protein, I'm measuring out like the palm of my hand for protein.
Yeah.
About that size. And carbs, like pasta, is usually about a handful. Yeah. And if I find I'm a little extra hungrier, I'll add extra lettuce to the salad, or a little bit extra tomato, but not a whole lot. More so lettuce.
Yeah, which is fantastic. And so let's just jump into, because it's only been a short time that we've started. And why 2.5 weeks. And the whole reason I said, can we jump on a call, is because tell us where you started and where you are right now, if you don't mind sharing.
I think I was 206, 205, 206.
205.5, I think it was around there. Pounds.
Yeah. And then yesterday, I think it was 201.4.
Which is amazing.
So that was a pretty big loss. I had no idea it was going to go down that fast. When I looked at the scale, I'd look at it 2 or 3 times and it was like,
are you for real?
Right. Yeah, I stepped on and off and on and off, and it was like, okay.
And how does that make you feel? Like,
it helps keep that positivity and that motivation going.
Yeah.
Because it was like, hey, I'm unable to work out because of a shoulder injury, so it kind of adds that little feeling of defeat I normally would have gotten, but I didn't get that yesterday. So I felt pretty good yesterday.
Yeah.
And today.
Yeah, that's right. And
yeah,
we, when we talked about it, because let's go back a step for a second, is that your eating was all over the shop.
Oh yeah.
And when I sent you the meal plan, right? I sent you a meal plan, and you've just really just grabbed onto it. And talk about your how that you're in such a good place that you're staying on it. Like, explain that.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a lot of variety and there's no guesswork. Like, I know what I'm eating on schedule. Like, for some people, eating on the fly works. For me, I know it doesn't work. So I need to have something scheduled out. Like, hey, I got to eat this at this time, this at this time, that at that time. Meal prep is done. Meals are always ready. And I'm not grabbing on the fly. Yeah. Like grabbing a cheeseburger instead. I'll wait till I get home and then I'll have my meal.
Yeah.
But normally I would have grabbed that cheeseburger before, but now I'm yeah, I've got a lot more motivation to stay on it. So the cravings don't bother me at all. And they're not even cravings anymore.
So
I think I had a headache for about 2 days because I really wanted sugar, but that was probably the end of the sugar coming out of my system.
yes, that's right.
Yeah. Halloween chocolates, I never even ate one.
I know, can't believe it.
No,
So
I
exciting.
threw 2 of them out that were in the bucket. So it was like, no, I didn't even want it. And it's not bothering me at all.
You know, and it always comes back down to, you've been through that process for such a long time of
Yeah.
up and down, and how frustrating, and it's depressing, you know.
It is, yeah. And having my hormones out of whack too really didn't help.
No.
I mean, 34 years old is pretty young to have a hysterectomy, but I mean, facing cancer as many times as I did.
Yes.
Didn't have to go through chemo, knock on wood, but in order for me to save my own life, I have to improve my health. At least this way, if it does come back, I have a fighting chance.
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree.
And
I use the word,
and cancer thrives on sugar. So if there's no sugar in me, then I'm not giving cancer a fuel source.
yeah, that's so true.
So
and only you can take that action. I can want that for you, but I can't do that for you.
Yeah, I had to want it for myself, and I hit that point.
You did. And what else has been helpful in the 2.5 weeks with starting with me?
Check-ins. Like the one-on-one check-ins definitely help.
The accountability, huh? It's a really big part of the process, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
And the difference with having, like, again, because so many people wonder what the difference is, right? With having a personal trainer or going to a nutritionalist, and then with my course, and you're a one-to-one client, right? We're on a journey together. This is a 6-month process. And so when you think about the investment, because you're investing in yourself,
yeah,
that's what it's about. It's about investing in yourself to new changes, new beginnings. So the difference, again, so I've kind of lost my train of thought, but I'm trying to get onto the point of difference for what you've got from me versus what you haven't had in the past, comes back down to that touch base, doesn't it? The accountability.
Yeah. And it's the wanting to do it. I think now that I'm actually in that mindset, like when I tried on my jeans and they didn't fit, and it was like, okay, enough of this. Like I was tired of feeling this way. And I seen pictures of myself from last summer when I was really small. That was an unhealthy weight loss, but still it was kind of like, okay, I need to get myself back to healthy for starters. But back then I wasn't in a good mental place. Back then I wasn't really eating anything. So I'm trying to put more focus on myself and how I'm doing, and spending quality time with my dog. And
of course,
we're walking.
Yes. But also, you know, when you think about the mental capacity, right? When you're not in a good place and you're not feeding yourself and not feeding your brain, how can you stay positive? How can you have the momentum to want to keep going?
Exactly. Like I always had brain fog, and it was just kind of like, I knew what I wanted to, like with my drawings, like I knew what I wanted to put on paper, but I couldn't quite get it there. No. And now it's working. So it's feeding. Yeah, I get up in the morning, I spend feeding the brain,
feeding this, our heart, and obviously feeding our body, right? Super important. That all goes together.
Yeah, exactly. And sleeping more. I find I'm actually able to sleep more, and it's more of like a rested sleep, not just sleeping for the sake of it.
And you said that in the first week. So what was that experience in the first week? You said you felt
more rested. And getting up and like looking forward to, it's the weirdest thing, like getting up and looking forward to oatmeal and yogurt. Like I mixed it all together today just because it was like something different. But yeah, I was pretty full before I even finished it, but I still got it down anyway.
Fantastic.
It's such a variety, and I'm not eating on the fly. I think it's where it really helped me.
Yeah, because it's just normal when we are out and we don't know what we're having, we will grab something we shouldn't have.
Yeah, like if I'm going to be out for the afternoon with me and Ricky driving around or going out and getting stuff done, if I know, okay, I've just eaten lunch, I need to have my snack before my dinner. If it's cashews or almonds, I always make sure I have that handy in the truck. Yeah. So when I know, okay, it's been about 3 hours, grab a handful. Yeah. And good to go.
So good. So
I'm resisting that urge.
So good.
It's gotten to that point now where the cravings are gone. I don't want the chocolate. I don't want the sugar. Like the dark chocolate I have for the snack, but I like dark chocolate, so it doesn't bother me at all. But yeah, it's the cravings that are a big thing. Like, you know, if my partner says, let's grab McDonald's for supper, and it's like, well, no, I gotta have my meal. He'll typically put the McDonald's away, the idea of it, and eat when I'm eating. So it's kind of passing off on him too, which in turn helps me, because then he's like, well, shouldn't we be eating on the meal plan? So it is helping.
Well, sure, because at the end of the day, it's still all support, right? And if our family isn't also helping us, it just makes it one more step a little bit more challenging, right? So it's great, and it's always a big thing I talk about if there's a spouse or, you know, with kids involved, you know, you got to have that support to keep going, because it can be, it's life changing. The weight that you're wanting to lose is life changing, right? Yeah.
And I wanted to do it in a healthy way, so it's working for me. I feel good, positive, and motivated, especially after getting on the scale yesterday and seeing that number drop. It was like it was a huge confidence booster. So it's like, hey, I know I'm doing the right thing.
That's right.
Like I felt it, but now I can see it. So
and that can be sometimes hard, because not everyone loses it so quickly. Some people do, some people don't. But it's that affirmation to yourself that, okay, it is working, isn't it? It's, you always want to see the results. And sometimes, you know, I've had clients that don't see it in themselves. It's somebody that they see that says, you look so good. What have you been doing? Right.
Yeah. And Ricky said he can see a big difference, like just in the bloating alone I used to have really bad bloating. And I felt like I wanted to cover up in a huge hoodie all the time. I mean, I spent last summer wearing sweaters. So it's like, now we're coming into winter and it's like, well, I'm still going to be in sweaters, but maybe by next summer, I won't feel so obligated to stay in them.
That's right. That's right. You'll feel more.
And I won't be.
You won't be. No way. You'll be feeling great in yourself and your body and everything. Well, I like I said, I just wanted to jump on a real, you know, and do this because there's so many other women that you can empower, right? It's always about helping other people and sharing those really great results in 2.5 weeks. We had to get on. So thank you so much for making the time. I really appreciate it.
No worries.
And appreciate your dog for moving him out of his spot so you can get the light.
Oh no, he's still here. He's just on my lap now.
Oh, perfect.
Dog hair, and we're gonna go brush this off and then go for a walk.
Perfect. Excellent. Yeah, it's all about moving as well. Well, thank you so much, Sabrina. Really appreciate it.
No worries.
We will definitely be seeing you on your next check-in, and we'll be texting each other now, won't we?
I'm ready.
Ready. Awesome. Thanks.